Hello everyone, welcome to Two Real Reviews, two reviewers with no agenda. I'm Smeet Bass and my partner in this is Purple Sage.
Hello.
Today I'm reviewing Longlegs, released in 2024, directed by Oz Perkins and starring Maika Monroe and Nicolas Cage. I'm sure everyone has heard of Longlegs because of its wonderful trailer, but if you haven't, it is a new horror film from the same director that brought you films such as The Blackcoat's Daughter and Gretel and Hansel. It's about an agent for the FBI played by Monroe who is tasked with finding a serial killer who has evaded capture for a long time. I won't get into much more plot synopsis than that because I don't want to spoil you, but I will say that because of the marketing campaign for this, everyone knows the killer is played by Nicolas Cage. I love Nicolas Cage. Films like The Rock, Con Air, Leaving Las Vegas are all considered modern classics, and I even love some of his quote-unquote bad movies like Drive Angry and Season of the Witch. I am so glad that he is having a career resurgence. He is a wonderful actor to me. I also am a fan of Maika Monroe, and It Follows, which I felt was one of the best horror films of the last 10 or so years. And I also enjoyed her in, The Watcher from a couple of years ago. She's becoming a horror staple, and I'm on board with that. So I have to get all of that praise out of the way to say that I did not like this movie at all. I thought it was a very confused and surface level horror film with a plot that is level 1 serial killer mixed with a group of characters that are straight out of a true crime TV show. The film has an amazing premise and a villain that is very intriguing, but the way the story is structured is incredibly boring, not scary at all, and doesn't answer glaring questions that any attentive audience member will ask. I can't get into more without spoiling it, and I will not do that. Maika Monroe is a good actress, and Nicolas Cage is a god actor to me that can do no wrong, but the way that the characters are constructed and what is given for them to do can best be described as uneventful. Cage plays his character so well, a believable psychopath who goes completely over the top with his lunacy. But the problem is that he is only written to be crazy and nothing more. There is no insight into the character, and that would be fine if the story wasn't constructed around why he's doing what he's doing. If you want to make a character that is pure chaos, that's fine, but they need to have an arc that surrounds that chaos. I mostly fault the screenplay and direction for why this movie is such a disappointment. The way the movie is shot is a lot of close-up shots of scenes. I know it's to invoke fear and claustrophobia, but what it ends up doing is having a bunch of language shots that have nothing to deliver. There's a few scenes in the movie where the main character is breathing heavy as she is observing a situation, but the heavy breathing doesn't incite fear, it incites laughter because it's a cheap method to build tension, especially since we can't see through her eyes like the script wants us to. The film also uses loud noises for its scares, and that is extremely frustrating. If you tell us completely how to feel with sounds instead of evoking a horror that is equally as strong visually, it is going to get frustrating, and that's exactly what happened to me. The script also has many plot holes with the main character and what is going on with her arc. They establish right at the beginning of the movie that she is a very studious agent, but they never elaborate on that, and instead of showing us why this agent is special, we're just supposed to get some exposition dialogue and accept her as being what she is. It's very much a talking the talk instead of walking the walk. The film will no doubt be compared to films like The Silence of the Lambs, Zodiac, and a few other David Fincher movies. But those movies had stakes and bite to them. You understood why the characters were doing what they were doing. Hannibal Lecter didn't need insight because you're told he's a guy that likes to eat people, and you already know he's evil just by seeing his face. His characterization is a perfect example of less is more when it comes to true serial killers. When all you have to offer is lunacy with no rhyme around the lunacy, it leaves me very frustrated. I don't want to jump on any hate train here, but I don't understand why this movie is getting so much attention. It is a poorly paced horror film with terrible jump scares, a story that seems like it is confused with itself, and an ending that is just insulting. I think this is a well acted movie that has nothing to say. I'm glad people are enjoying it, but it seems like it wants to be the horror movie of the year, and it fails in every place. It doesn't have the same bite as movies like Infinity Pool from last year, or the imagination of I Saw the TV Glow from earlier this year. I just think it's a poorly constructed horror film, and I know that Perkins is making a movie called The Monkey that releases next year, and I hope this was just a misstep and that this next movie will be good. I'm going to give Longlegs a D plus or 1.5 stars out of 4.
I only gave it 2 stars. One for Nicolas Cage because he steals my attention every time he's on the film. But I have to say I did not like this film at all. I almost fell asleep in the movie theater.
Yeah, it's a pretty languid experience. The funny thing is that the like her boss character is played by Blair Underwood, and I remember him from stuff like L.A. Law and the movie Just Cause with Lawrence Fishburne and Sean Connery. So I think he's a good actor too. I think everybody in this movie is good, but I think it's just wasted talent on a boring script.
Yeah, you could say that. I completely agree.
This movie was a disappointment. So I believe that is all. So thank you for listening to Two Real Reviews, and we'll talk to you next video.